Houston and Miguel's gym. With me, I'm joined by the one and only Mark Prince. What's happening, Mark? How are you?
I'm awesome, man. It's great to be here with you again, James. Enough love and respect to you, brother.
Obviously, we've well documented your story thus far and what's going on, but for those that are not sort of aware of what's been going on, can you talk to us a little bit about the Mark Prince story?
Nice. I just want to let you know, man, how grateful I was for that whole title, that whole clip you done on YouTube. Is This Not a Story? It was absolutely awesome. But for those that missed it, it was basically, in a nutshell, the understanding that here's a fighter who's gone through so much. That was a great champion when he was a champion back in the 90s, #1 light heavyweight for much of the 90s, from at least 94, 95 to 99, 2000. And then I have had injury. I've had a lot going on in my career from 2000 to 2013. Literally 13 coming on 14 years from the injury I never fought. But during that time, I buried my baby who was stillborn. Then I buried my 15-year-old son. More significantly, that's how the Kiyan Prince Foundation got kicked off. The Kiyan Prince Foundation right here. And basically my son got killed for no reason, for trying to peaceably stop some beef going on the roads. It was right outside his school, in fact. Getting killed in front of hundreds of kids that loved him. He was looked up to. His head teacher announced at a school assembly an award ceremony for the kids. He got 4 awards for his great work, his academic skills, and his achievements as just an individual, and his kindness. And the teacher said that he was like a role model. Other children wanted to be like him. So to lose your son, who's made you so proud at that stage in his life, when he's ready to kick off, QPR has been setting him up to be their #1 striker in their youth team. And he's set to be starting to play for their main team at a very young age, at 16. So to lose your son at that stage of his life is heartbreaking. It's heart-wrenching. And most times you don't know what to do. And there was a stage in my life I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I could survive. I didn't know if I wanted to even live on the next day. Despite having other kids, my kids mean everything to me. So taking one out of the frame, that killed me. That killed me.
I mean, I can only imagine how sort of hard of a time that was for you to deal with as a man, as a parent, and sort of to think about other things. How did you sort of channel your emotions into setting up the Kiyan Prince Foundation and using your profile, if you like, from boxing to trying to raise awareness of what's going on?
You know, James, I'm gonna keep it real with you, and we live in a world where people shy away from the Bible. They shy away from hearing about God and Jesus, but to me, it's very real because I've seen him in action. People say, prove God. Prove that he's real, prove he made this earth, prove he's your creator. Well, I'll say, prove that, the wind does what the wind does. Prove, but people say, show that God is real. Well, show that the wind is real, but you can see the effects that the wind has. You can't see it, visibly see the wind and say, yep, it looks like this, but you see the effects that the wind has. And God is like that for me. You can't visibly see God, but you can see the effects that God has in your life. And people, when they praise me for what I've done, they're basically praising God for what he's done through me, because I couldn't do this on my own. People say, how did you find the strength? I'm not strong to do this. I'll be in jail right now. I wanted to kill this guy. It was eating away at me. I cried like a baby out to God because there was nowhere for me to turn. I didn't have the strength to deal with what God was asking me to do. So I said, well, you show me what I need to do. And it just unfolded. Firstly, I felt that something needed to be done. I felt it in my spirit. We need to set something up where we could go out there and talk to other kids about this pain. I felt like I needed to share my pain, James. and I wanted to give the other young people an understanding of what they're really doing, because they shove the knife in, they go, they gas to their brethren, they get hype about it, and they get stripes on the roads for doing whole heap of evil and badness, not realizing what they've really done. So meet me now. I come in your school, I come in your crew, I come in the prison, you meet me. I'm just like any of the other victims. You've ruined me, you've ruined my children, you've ruined my family, the extended family, Kiyan's friends and everyone. So that little drop of poison that you shed has spread out like a virus and infected many people. So that's really what the young people are doing with this whole knife culture, this whole violence culture. They're really spreading this poisonous virus of violence and ignorance in their own neighborhood that they claim that they're repping. I'm repping my ends. Really, I thought I was doing something positive. I rep my ends. I rep Tottenham. When I came out as a fighter, but people were proud to say Prince is repping his ends, because I was putting Tottenham on the map. You saw Sky TV, Mark Prince from Tottenham, up and coming prospect, champion, defending, doing positive things. That's how you rep your ends, not by poisoning it, hurting people's feelings, breaking people's heart. So I recognized the reality of this was I needed to go to a being more powerful and that knew my purpose. And I seized upon that opportunity when I said to God, my creator, help me. Because I don't know what this is all about, but I feel in my spirit there's something that I need to do. And God showed me that something, and it was for me to go out there and actually do it myself, reach the young people, share my pain, cry with the young people. They cried with me as they saw and recognized what they was doing. I've had young men crying on me who have stabbed people, who have robbed people, and I had to rid myself of the poison of unforgiveness that brings. So I had to release that, let it all go, talk to God, tell him to take this away, because if you want me to do this work, I won't be able to deal with other kids who've killed others. I'll be angry towards them like I was towards Hanad Hussein, who killed my son. So throughout this process, that's the way I've dealt with it. I've shared love instead of sharing bitterness and pain. So forgiveness and sharing my story, and plus it really opened up my life to let me see there's so much for me to give, because I've lived that street life. I've done all those dirty things where I've gone out and I've gone and robbed inside of a bank. I've gone and done fraud. I've gone and sold some weed to make a living, feed my kids. I know what it's like to be on the streets. I've been homeless. I've lived that life. So, but I've survived that and come around, and I want to teach and encourage the kids, not judge them, but show them another way and be that very real example that you're looking at yourself, kids. I am you, you are me.
Going forward from here, I know boxing's a huge part of your life. It's still sort of, the fire still burns, if you like, to compete and test yourself at the highest British level, maybe even European level that you can. What's the plan going forward from here, and what have you done to sort of change your stars and get that chance to fight again?
Okay, what people have got to realise, because a lot of people don't know anything about Mark Prince or my career and what I was like. So I've always aspired and always been at a world-class level. I fought for the world title. Yeah, I got stopped in the 8th round. But look at the fight. Look at the way I box. Look at my pedigree. And look who I dared to fight at 18-0. People got to look at these things. I don't think you're looking at British level. I'm just here to prove my point that at this stage in my life, it's almost like I've been preserved for a reason. Yeah, you don't meet a lot of guys. I'm in that Bernard Hopkins realm where I'm not saying I'm at his skill level yet, but what I'm saying, I'm cut from the same cake, where you can see that I'm preserved, the way my body works, the way I train hard, the way I'm dedicated and focused and committed. There's only a certain amount of fighters with that longevity and can actually perform at the level that I perform at this age. I'm 47 on March the 10th. You need to come and see what I'm doing and why I have these aspirations, because it's world. It's not British, it's not European, it's world level. So I'm not having illusions of grandeur. I'm just saying a man's got to put his standards, and a man's got to know what his limitations are. So I've set my ceiling and I'm working towards that. If I fall short, that will be a little bit below that. If I set it at British standard and fall short, below that is nothing. So we all have to learn something from each other's lives. And I think that people can learn something from my life as I learn something from theirs. I'm being humble, I'm being understanding to what I can do at this age, but I also want to break barriers, and I also want to show people that they can also do that, and don't be set standards by other people's mindset.
Only career defeat against, as you said, Darius Rachowski when you stepped up to challenge for the world title. Do you feel comfortable at this sort of age that you can compete at that level, or is it a case of enjoying your boxing and seeing how far you can take it, Mark?
Well, to be honest, James, I am enjoying my boxing. After you've held a little coffin and you've held it by yourself and put it down, after you've carried a big coffin with your 15-year-old son, with 6 to 8 other brothers carrying your big son, after you've done that, my friend, there ain't nothing that bothers you. I'm at peace every day. I'm grateful for every day, every person I meet, every moment in life. So me being able to walk in the ring and box is an utter pleasure. Me being able to come in the ring and train as hard as I do is an honor and a pleasure. Remember, the doctors told me I couldn't fight in the year 2000. They had to reconstruct my knee, and look at what I'm doing. Look at the pressure and the performance I'm displaying despite all of that. So basically, when I go in that ring, I'm not just enjoying, I'm enjoying the fact that I could set a standard and I could step up to that standard. So I would say fighters need to be very careful and don't look at me as, this guy's got a great record. 24 fights, 23 wins, 18 knockouts, 1 loss. If I take him, he's an old boy, then that'll be good for me. Do you know what, James? I want that to happen. I want these young bucks to come in and feel that way about me and watch them get dismantled by an easygoing, relaxed, nothing to prove, senior fighter with all the experience, relaxation and knowledge that it's going to take them apart with their aggression and their young fire and venom. I know how to take that apart and take that away from them.
On that note, I'm pretty sure the Mark Prince story is not finished here. We appreciate you giving us some of your time today, and it's great to get you back on the channel, mate.
Nice. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate this, and we're going to go on a route around the British border because they're still ignoring me. You know, they haven't stepped up and been able to give me my license, so we're going to go for the European. So when the British fighters get their British title, they're going to want the European. They've still got to meet me. There's no way through this. They can't avoid it. They're going to have to meet the Prince himself, man.
Mark Prince, thank you, sir.
Bless you, James.